In these unprecedented times, Catholic Social Services of the Miami Valley continues to be an instrument of Christ's call to serve the most vulnerable among us. While we will not be able to come together to celebrate their impact this year, the Jazz Party Committee invites you to join us on a sentimental journey where we will shine a light on 7 CSS programs changing lives in our community. We start our journey with Jazz Party Committee member Laura Thimons talking with the Oliver family, who received support from CSS following the Memorial Day tornadoes of 2019.
And so after the tornadoes, which were devastating to the community, and to be asked to lead the long-term recovery case management team to help with the personal recovery of people impacted from Dayton to Salina, knowing the strength and the skills we had in our organization, the timelessness of our mission, and I did not hesitate to say yes, we should consider, and yes, we should do this.
I remember it like it was yesterday. When the tornado hit, I was actually asleep.
For me, I was in the basement watching a little TV, and all of a sudden the lights start flickering, and the lights are out, and you just hear like whirling wind. It's like I didn't know what was going on. It sounded really, really loud.
And I felt like I was in a movie where I thought it was like the Wizard of Oz. Like I really saw that scene of the house swirling in that tornado. And
it seemed like it was never going to end. It just kept going, kept going, kept going, kept going. And we're like, oh my God, like what is about to happen? And
as soon as I sat up, everything went black. The lights went out, the TV went off. I mean, it was pitch black. I have a trampoline in the backyard, and in my mind I said I need to move because this trampoline's gonna come through my bedroom window.
Almost felt like the house was gonna kind of fall because it just felt like it was moving. So it was like, oh man, it was pretty scary for me.
I had a lot of trauma. I think because I was asleep when it happened, that waking up abruptly like that for the longest I couldn't sleep because I was always afraid that if I heard thunder, that another tornado was about to hit. If it rained, I was afraid that the sump pump was going to go out again. And I don't really remember sleeping, because at that point it's a lot of anxiety, it's shock, trying to find out what happened, what the damage is outside. We were out of power for over 10 days. We had water from where it kept raining right after the tornado also that just came in and actually flooded our basement. And with the flood and the water just sitting there, because we weren't at the house, so we didn't realize that the water was in the basement. When we come back, it's enough water to cover our shoes. Everything is destroyed, and you could just tell the scent, the mold that from the water had been sitting. Financially, it was a strain because you have, day-to-day life, and of course you plan sometimes to have like a small budget if the refrigerator goes out or something. We had at least $40,000 worth of damage. I am immensely humble and grateful at the process, the kindness, the blessing that has been, and to be honest, without the Catholic services, I don't know, where we would be. We would probably still be trying to piece it back together. It's been traumatic. It's definitely been traumatic. They've been a blessing.
We work to help the families develop their personal recovery plan, a holistic recovery plan, whether it has to do with repair and rebuild of their homes, addressing the trauma that they have experienced by waking up in the middle of the night and having their house being blown apart, the family stress that comes from the financial strain. So we're helping them rebuild their lives.
When Mr. Gorman reached out, he's been the foreman for the project, and he came out and he, did an assessment, took pictures, and think that we could really help you out. And I told him, I said, okay. And again, him taking pictures, that was normal. So not really jumping out of my skin at this point. But when he came back and said, he called me back and said, it's a go, when can we start? I was elated, it was finally a sense of peace, comfort. We are actually, as Mr. Gorman says, we're rounding third base. We're almost at the home stretch. I think maybe July we should be wrapping things up and we'll be finished. I mean, they have completely, starting in my mind, the only thing that I thought they were going to do was just treat the mold. But treating the mold, putting back drywall, flooring, I mean, they have really restored the basement to what it was, and even better, just because it's all out of love.
The long-term recovery case management team partners with the people who were impacted by the tornadoes to build personal recovery plans to help them move from the crisis of the tornado to the stability that they want for themselves and for their families. And we've served over 1,500 households, and 450 families are still working on their recovery plans. And they made a tremendous amount of progress.
I started volunteering with Red Cross about 3 years ago in response locally because I wanted to do something more within my own community. Because I am a Red Cross volunteer, I'm always watching the weather and I'm always waiting for my phone to ring in those circumstances. I never think so much about weather-related events in my own hometown. I'm usually watching nationally. Then I started watching the news and I saw what was happening, and so I knew that there was going to be a need for help, a great need for help within my own community. Today was such a blessing for me to meet Tiffany and her family because I typically only see people through the first few weeks of their disaster. So you create this amazing rapport with these people, and we eventually become one family within these shelters that we're serving in. And so today I got to see what amazing work that we are able to do through Catholic Social Services, because we saw the healing taking place, and that's the important part that I don't get to see through my work with Red Cross. I am such, and I love it, but I'm always feel like there's a piece missing. And so today it was such a gift to be able to see Tiffany's family healing and the progress that they've made.
Thank you for your support of Catholic Social Services. We are all in this together, and CSS needs our support more than ever to continue their beautiful mission. You can learn more about our Sentimental journey, find more stories, and offer your support for all their programs by visiting CSSMV.org and clicking on the Sentimental Journey link. Thank you for your support.